Now, Australia is the latest country to regulate cryptocurrency in a major overhaul of the payments industry. Joining me live is RMIT Senior Research Fellow in the Blockchain Innovation Hub, Aaron Lane. Aaron, this is a space that has just moved so quickly.
It certainly has. Good morning, good to be with you.
The Treasurer has used a speech this week to outline the largest reforms to our payment systems in a quarter of a century. Tell us more.
So what we've got, I think the background to this is the Senate committee into Australia as a financial and technology centre led by Senator Andrew Bragg. That's really the background into this. It did not start out looking at cryptocurrency. It started out in the broader sort of fintech space. But over time, the committee really zeroed into cryptocurrency and the wider blockchain industry in Australia. And so what we saw is that committee putting out issues papers and then seeking more evidence into this issue. And I think there were really three broad issues that came to the fore as part of that committee process. The first was around the regulatory treatment of cryptocurrency exchanges in particular. I think what the industry were looking for was a measure of regulatory certainty. There's a lot of investment in this space. There's a lot of operators that are looking to come and set up in Australia. But they needed a level of regulatory certainty. And this is a global business. This is a global industry. And so if you're going to set up, Australia is really competing with the other great financial centres of the US and the UK and Singapore and so on. The second area was around taxation treatment. There are some intricacies involved in the cryptocurrency space that aren't like, I guess, the traditional finance sector. And so if you've got staking of tokens, if you've got other sort of mining income, if you've got token swaps on decentralized exchanges, for example, all of those things look a bit strange if you're looking to fill out your tax forms. And so what was needed was really a refresh and update of the tax rules that applied to those sorts of assets. So that was sort of the second category. And the third really was around, well, how can we make this industry flourish?
It's interesting, isn't it, Aaron? I mentioned just at the start how quickly the space has moved around cryptocurrency. There'll be a large section of people watching this program today, particularly of probably an older generation, and I throw myself into that age bracket, that may be saying, what is cryptocurrency? This is a different language to me. What are we talking about here?
Look, absolutely. And I think one of the things that has come out of both the Senate inquiry and hopefully the recommendations is the need for greater consumer literacy around some of these things. Very, very simply, cryptocurrency is a native digital currency. It doesn't require a third-party intermediary like a bank. And that's really the innovation here. Historically, if we were going to have a digital currency, we would need to have some sort of third party that would monitor those transactions. We saw a lot of projects in the 1990s and the 2000s, around those different ideas. But some of those projects went bankrupt. Some of them, like PayPal, changed their business model and pivoted away from digital currency. Others got shut down by regulatory action. And so in 2008, what we saw was a proposal for a native digital currency that didn't require a third-party intermediary. It runs on computer code. It's a distributed network. And so instead of a single party updating the transaction record, what you've got is thousands, potentially tens of thousands of computers running the software, monitoring the transactions, and the cryptocurrency is one part of the incentive to make the program work as well. So that's sort of the fundamentals. coming across now 10 years, we've seen the market cap of cryptocurrencies exceed, $1.5, almost $2 trillion, depending on the week. So it's now gone from what might have been a kind of a weird sort of part of the internet 12 years ago to now really coming into the mainstream. But that does require consumers to get up to speed with what that is, and it's different to transacting in a way that consumers would be used to, which is bank-to-bank transactions.
Yeah, and it's vital that governments are across it and regulating to protect consumers going forward, because as you mentioned, this space has expanded exponentially over the past decade or so, and it's going to continue to head in that direction. Aaron, look, you've been a font of information this morning. Thanks for coming on.
It's a pleasure.